What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Loud Spot. I'm your host, Sebastian, hanging out with my co-host, Southern Flame, Don McIntyre. And then we got a guy named Mr. Ken Lewis joining us. And man, I think we got a story for you today. Here we go.
Oh, no! Oh, boy! Ah, here it comes! The motherfucking Loud Spot!
All right, Ken Lewis, man, you have done. Look, I didn't know who you were until I looked you up, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I should know who this guy is.
Right.
I like laying in the cut. Like, I like being anonymous and behind the scenes, and I get to work with everybody, and nobody really knows who I am. It's a great way to live.
I'm gonna put it like this. When I looked you up, I was like, shut up, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it. 19 Grammy awards, right? 19 Grammy. So these are
not the statues.
Right. Okay. Right.
No, I don't think anybody has 19 statues. So yeah, the short list on the credits is the big one is I have 112 gold records.
Yeah.
Wow.
So those keep piling up. I just got another one for my production on Kanye West On Site that I produced with. Daft Punk and Kanye were the main producers on it, and I was a producer as well. So that just went gold. Watch the Throne went gold, platinum ages ago. But yeah, 112 gold records, 57 Grammy nominations as a participant, 7 Grammy nominations by name for Album of the Year, Record of the Year, projects that I worked on. I've never won a statue. God damn it.
Get the man a statue, guys.
Nice. Always the bridesmaid, but whatever.
I like his nonchalant, like, yeah, 57 Grammys, or it is what it is. We're with Kanye West.
You're my fucking statue already.
To me, they're like, trust me, the awards are nice, but they're like signposts on the road, because I think anybody in my position would tell you that a lot of the very best records that we have ever made either never came out or never got pushed or got completely ignored or passed over. And to me, those records are every bit like, I'm as proud of all of those records as I am the big ones. It's just that those get the all of the attention. So
Right.
What sucks is, and what you said, some of the best ones that you've done have never really got pushed or never got known. But isn't that the way it is? Like, some of the best guitar players or drummers or songwriters in the world are not known.
Totally.
Just known. Unless they go on American Idol. No one knows who they are. But even with a guy with who you've worked with and things that you've done, some of the best stuff you've done maybe just hasn't been heard to the public, or was for some reason not pushed. Isn't that crazy?
And so that's what we do. That's why we do what we do. So it can be
right.
put out there and get the word out.
Get it out there.
Get it known.
I mean, I think I have the best podcast ever. Just no one pushes me.
I mean, that's I think. A lot of times you have incredible musicians and vocalists out there who forget that this is actually the music business. And if you've got to figure out whatever your lane is, you've got to figure out what your lane is towards building a fan base for real. You can't just want it. You can't talk about it. You got to actually put the fucking work in hardcore to build an actual fan base.
Right.
Otherwise, why should anybody care about you? So,
Right.
and some people just don't connect like that. An amazing guitar player shouldn't be the front man. He should be the guitar player in a band or something.
Right.
Or, serenade us on TikTok all night. I mean, I follow guitar players that I just, I'll scroll and I'll be like, oh, this dude, okay. For the next hour, I'm just going to fucking vibe with him playing whatever in the background. Like, I love that kind of shit. So, to me, music is everywhere. Yeah.
What got you started in the whole, because I know you have your song we're gonna play here in a little bit, Danger. But what got you started in production? Like, did you go to like sound engineering school? And how did you get to from Kanye West, Eminem, Taylor Swift, Usher? How did you get to where you're at today to be able to work with artists like that and not have a big old fucking ego about it as well? Because I would.
You got it. So I've been making major label records for 30 years. So if you space that out across, 112 gold records over 30 years, I only get one of those every 3 or 4 months. That means all of the other
every 3 or 4 months, no big deal.
Working on shit that is the grind, So I mean, most of the day to day is the grind. And
Yeah.
when the big people call, it's I still love those moments. I just got to work on a couple big records this past week, and those will come out and those will be big. And but I also got to work on a bunch of indie stuff that probably won't be very big that I fucking love too. So
Yeah.
I'm
So
kind of all over the
congratulations.
map, and with Obscene Stealers. So I'm in this group now, Obscene Stealers,
Hmm.
and Obscene Stealers is myself and Michael Moss, and I come from the music industry record side of things. And Michael, my nickname for Michael is Michael Moss, the music or the Michael Moss, the movie trailer boss. So
Ah.
Michael composes movie trailers, like big ones. He's done The Batman, he's done Fast and Furious, Star Wars, Mulan, he
Wow.
just did Moon Knight. So he kind of comes from big epic cinematic world and doesn't really he makes records sometimes, but that's really his niche. And my niche is kind of the record world. So we met and worked together on a record last year, and when you just know when you meet like the person that you should be making music with. And I
Yeah.
think both of us were just like, this is really good. We should do more of this. And we did. And it was just like, holy shit, we're making some fucking amazing stuff. So we kind of kept going with it. And then we just decided to start releasing music, which we're releasing our second single, Side Effects, on Wednesday. We released Danger 3 weeks ago, and for a new artist that nobody's heard of, we're doing really great at streaming so far.
Bro,
And
is this like your first go around with making your own music and releasing it?
as the artist, yes, I've never been the artist before.
Did you
That's
now?
impressive.
Now
It's
here's a
fun.
question: going
Hmm.
from producing and doing all these different artists that you've worked with, doing your own thing, do you see a different side of the industry as far as pushing your music out there? Is that something that you didn't maybe you understood it but didn't ever really live it? Is it different than what you thought as far as pushing an album goes, or a single?
Um, it's a little bit because I've developed artists a lot over the years, so I kind of understand the process of artist development, and I can apply my previous knowledge to being an artist myself. But still, filling the shoes yourself is a totally different role, and you realize you have to put yourself out there in a different way.
Hmm.
And like I said before, you actually have to do like real fan building if you want real fans.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we're I'm doing podcasts now, and I'm trying to get out there and make sure that people hear our music, and we're hoping to also do great in the sync world, film and TV and stuff like
Right.
that. So I'm trying to pull him into my world, and he's trying to pull me into his world, and we'll see
What
how it goes.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
There you go.
I've noticed you've done mostly, as far as what I could tell, mostly hip hop and pop music, right? And your song kind of falls along those lines. Is that kind of your niche, something that you are more comfortable with than maybe like a metal or acoustic band or something like that?
Oh, Avenged Sevenfold has had me produce for them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I've produced some metal for sure.
Okay.
I don't know. This isn't metal. It's more like heavy rock. But a group called Des Rocks, we produced
Hmm.
those from scratch, and that whole project, the first two EPs were completely done by us, and it's streamed about 150 million streams by now. We've licensed unbelievable amounts of licensing. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I do a lot of rock, and that's like kind of back to those are the types of things that unless you really know who Des Rocks is, you don't know. You've never
Right.
heard of
Hmm.
him, but it's some of my best work, and it's some of the work that like does really well for us in like a rights sense because he's been independent most of the time, so the rights come to us instead of a label, which is
Right.
fantastic.
Nice.
Do you get to know the artist when you're working with them? Like, do you actually get to meet them, or or does someone just send you the files and say, "Here you go, work on it"?
Um, it it can go anyway. Kind of more back in the day, I was much more in the studio with the artists a lot, and
Hmm.
and then I started specializing more in mixing and production, and then you're really not in the studio. You're producing, you are a lot,
Hmm.
but mixing, you're not. So now everything is remote now, even production. I mean, I produce most of the artists that I produce remotely, and then maybe they fly in for a day or two or a week for vocals or something like that. Like they gotta be with me for vocals. But
Mhm.
all of the other production, we can be anywhere in the world, which is kind of the new music industry, and I love it.
I'm
I
gonna
was fixing to say it's kind of convenient for you as well, isn't it?
Super. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can be anywhere making music. And
Right.
Michael Moss as well. He lives in Germany. And
Mhm.
he just spent like a month down in Greece with his laptop, and he didn't never stop working.
Wow.
He's like,
That's
I'm on the
amazing.
beach and I'm making music now.
it's crazy how people can just share files now. What sucks though, as someone who mixes, masters, and produces, I don't think back in the day, I've said this before on other shows, you used to have CDs or cassettes that would give the
Mhm.
credits to who it was that was doing it. And nowadays everything's so digital that your name doesn't show up on these albums. And that would be, for me, it'd be a little bit irritating. But before you go into that, I do want to say one thing before I forget. I wish, Don, you were wearing a shirt that said Rio on it, because then we could be Ghana Rio. we would switch sides and be Ghana Rio. We should do that. You need a Rio shirt, and I wear the Ghana shirt.
I need a roll of duct tape
And
for
then,
you.
and then,
Is what I
Ken
need.
Lewis will come back on, and we'll just have a shirt that says, his shirt will just say STD. And then that's what I think we should do.
Hilarious.
I mean, his brain goes from we're talking about music, sex.
Hold on.
That's great.
Penis.
There we go. Okay. All right. Let's talk. Let's focus in right now on Obscene Steelers. Okay. So you just, like I said, you released a song a few weeks ago. This song is more, it honestly has almost a Kanye West vibe a little bit to it. I think like the beat, I like the what was the album he came out with? Yay, or I don't know. I don't listen much Kanye. A little, but
I've worked with Kanye a bunch over the years, so I'm kind of really tuned into his sound. But like the thing that kind of surprises most people when they see my credits, you see like Kanye and J. Cole and people like that. But most of those big credits, they brought me into their world because I can bring a different style of music to them than they can get themselves.
Right.
So, for instance, with Kanye, one of the things I did with Kanye is I produced the horn section of all of the lights. So,
Wow.
when he called me to do it, he didn't call me and say like, "Well, do you know how to produce horns?" He just figured that I would figure out how to do it because
Right.
that was always the role I had with Kanye. Like,
Mhm.
Kanye had an idea and he had a vision for it, but he couldn't execute it or didn't know how. And then I was the guy that was like, "Hey, you figure it out." So I became the you figure it out guy for Kanye, which was a fantastic
visionary.
role. And then other people started finding out, like Drake and J. Cole. So I started becoming, kind of a designated hitter for a lot of those guys as well.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, but a lot of that is like, I did live choir and live string sections for J. Cole.
Oh,
Yeah, people look at that and
wow.
go, "Oh, you're into hip hop, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did the string section."
That's amazing.
Yeah. Is it hard sometimes to work with some artists that because some people are just really hard to work with, right? Like they just have a certain thing that they want, and you're here trying to do your best, and you don't have to say who, but has there ever been an artist that you've worked with that just is like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Here's what I did for you. You're done working on it. Here's what it is. Has there ever been someone impossible to just almost please?
Well, I don't think it's. I don't know. I don't really think about the impossible to please people. I think there are a lot of artists who are scared to finish because once they complete their song or their project, then they can't change it anymore, and now they must be judged by everybody on it. And that's a terrifying place for some artists to get. And you as a producer or a creative working with them, you have to kind of identify and manage that. Like that's not something for my role to be like, well, that fucking asshole won't do keeps asking for. It's my job to identify that as going, oh, what are they worried about right now? What's the real issue? And that's the psychology of record making that 30 years of this teaches you.
I mean, I would
how to
say
manage.
7 Grammy nominations, bitch. Fuck you. Here's what I did, motherfucker. Deal with it.
I mean, I have my limits. I find that I try and it's usually really black and white with me. I can tolerate a lot until a certain point, and then once you cross
Don't
that,
get disrespectful. Your ass is out.
I'm just like, okay, I don't need this anymore. I got all of these other things. I don't know what you thought I would need, but not here. So,
Right.
Quit
Good
talking
job.
Korea, goddamn it, and just get on with the show. So what he wants.
yeah. But I'm honestly really lucky that most of the people in the music industry that have survived it are really fun to work with, because if you aren't capable of having a great time in the studio, you're probably not going to survive this business.
Right.
It's a one-time business, and most of the best music is either created by people who are in the darkest place by themselves, or in a fun room full of people just batting ideas around the room and reinforcing each other and creating.
I wonder how many times there's been someone who has just a one hit, they call them one hit wonders, right? They have one hit because their song's really good and it gets pushed and everyone loves it. But if they're hard to work with, no one's probably going to want to deal. You have to be a salesperson almost yourself, even as an artist. And if you're hard to deal with, no one's going to want to work with you. And then you're not going to have any more great songs.
The kiss of death with that is really the money issue, where people go from making zero to just having more money than they fucking know what to do with. And then the ego inflates and they think that train is just going to keep going. And like, then this one was so easy. I don't know how it came, but boom, boom, boom. Here it is. The next one's going to come. And you know what? You actually either got really lucky or just caught a moment. But the next one, you're going to have to put in some real work. And a lot of those people just forget that. And then they course correct too late. And then, a year or two late, they're like, oh, but no, I'm back. And everybody's like, fuck you.
Dude, you're so fun to talk to. I'm definitely adding you on my socials. I want to keep in touch with you.
I'm telling you, we've had this string of really good people to talk to recently. We just
That's great.
So
I watched a few of your interviews, bits and pieces of them before I came on, so I kind of wanted to get to know you guys. So
you kind of
thank you so much. I'm enjoying talking to you. You're so informative and fun.
Yeah. Speaking of broadcasts, so the first Wednesday of every month, I do a live stream from the studio called Mixing Night.
I saw that.
Yeah. So the next Mixing Night is Wednesday, October 5th, coming right up.
Nice.
And I go live 8 to 10 Eastern. And I basically do like live mixing, live giveaways, interviews, ear training, beat challenges, all sorts of crazy shit. And it's just like 2 hours of fun.
What platform is that on?
YouTube. It's YouTube
okay.
/ Mixing Night. Yeah.
Nice.
And
let's
what's that?
Let's go into. I want to talk about your mixing night, and I want to talk about your payments and you take on your website. I want to talk about all this, but I do want to play your song before we get lost in the conversation. We can just go on and on and on and talk and talk and talk. But you're really fucking good. This is Obscene Steelers featuring Dirage. Is it Dirage? And what do you do on this song before you play it?
So me and Michael created all of the music, and Dirage is the feature artist.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's play it right now. Obscene Steelers, Mr. Ken Lewis. Thank you for being on here. Let's go.
Thank you.
Yo, this the moment I was born for. Running on a long road. Who can stop me? Only Lord knows. Only Lord knows it's the alpha. Faith that can move mountains. If you ever try to doubt it, you already know the outcome. What you thought it was, man, it's time. I am the one. They about to see that I'm second to none. I'm on the run. How can I stop when we only begun? I see an army circling round, top of your lungs. Go let it out. Blowing the horn, let the trumpet sound. Put up your walls, we tearing them down. Jericho, danger, danger, danger. It's coming down. Jericho, danger, danger, danger. It's coming down. Jericho, it's coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down. Danger. It's coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down. Danger. Danger.
There we go. How cool is that song? Well, hey, was it not a little Kanye vibey ish?
Oh, how could it not? I mean, I've done so many, I've done so much work with Kanye. How could it not be inspired by? Yeah,
So
he's
cool.
brilliant.
I got a lot of
Um,
techno and bass nectar vibes off of that.
yeah,
That
we're
would be great at concerts like that.
and the next song is gonna be epic pop. It's like this real dark epic pop. The song's called Side Effects, and it's basically about it being kind of a love addiction, and like a withdrawal from love. Um,
Ah,
so we're going down these kind of different musical lanes. The cinematicness of it is what's going to tie everything together, but we'll do some hip hop and some epic pop and some, who knows, EDM. We got some heavy guitars cranking in the next one, so you never know what you're going to find in our productions, but it's always going to be a hybrid of some crazy shit.
I
it's
think
gonna
it's
be fun to find out.
Yeah.
it just sounds so good and so just smooth sounding. It's incredible the music that you guys are making. Let's go into I guess, do you help artists when you go live on YouTube? Are you helping other smaller artists out? Like, what is the whole? I guess what's the goal of when you go live? What's the platform for?
So mixing night started at the beginning of lockdown during the pandemic, and it was really my way of going like, oh shit, everybody's going to be stuck inside for a long time. I have all this gear and I know how to use it, so let me just start broadcasting. So it eventually it started out as Q&A with Ken, and then it bloomed into mixing night over time, and now we have a plugin. We have Greenhouse, which is one of my favorite plugins I've ever used. But the show itself is like, it was really my community building way to just kind of keep something for people to do and to keep people engaged and connected during the pandemic. And it just resonated so well that I just kept it going. And now it's the thing that we can't live without. So now, I mean, we don't make a dime off it, and it takes like 2 or 3 hardcore days of prep with a bunch of people, but we all love it so much that we just find, we do it.
I noticed on your website there's like a payment button or reach out if you want to, maybe an artist wants to reach out to you for you to work on their album. One, before we even talk about cost, has someone ever reached out to you, just as some no-name guy who lives in we'll say Alabama, where Don lives, some hillbilly town in Alabama?
Yeah, you wait, Blanche. You just wait, Blanche.
She calls you Blanche.
I got one of my best friends is in Alabama.
Oh, hey, Sebastian.
Have you ever had someone, just some dude or chick or whoever sends you music and you're like, holy shit, this is good? And can you also decipher, even if the recording sucks, can you know in your head, I can make this sound really fucking good?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That happens. So yeah, the music industry has changed, unfortunately, and for better or worse, it's a TikTok world now.
Right.
And I've basically stopped developing other artists because the way that you get artists signed to labels now is through getting successful on TikTok, and I don't want to spend my time there.
Isn't that man? It's fucked up.
So fucked up.
But
short attention spans now.
Yeah, it's killing it. I mean, that's why Danger is 1:40. The original version of it was like 2:30, but we are crushing it streaming as an artist straight out the gate with no label, with no support. We're doing really, really well at streaming early on, and I think the impact of the song and the shortness of the song really helps with that and keeps people engaged and listening all the way through the end. Because on a nerd level, there's all these algorithmic things that help your streaming numbers.
Yep.
And the kiss of death is somebody skipping in the first 20 seconds. So it's boom, and you're right in. And
so you have to be right in your face from the get-go.
Exactly. And it's, and we're trying to take them on a journey. We're trying to be like, if there were no vocals, you would know what was happening just by the music changes and the impact and the ebb and flow of where the music is. You would know, oh shit, this must be the verse. Oh, of course, it's got to be coming. Oh, we're in it. You know, it's like
Algorithms are so insane, and what's crazy is you put stuff on maybe TikTok or YouTube or whatever, and everyone wants to do their hashtags, right? The hashtag this that. I don't think hashtags that has nothing to do with algorithms, because I have a video I put on TikTok that has like 67,000 views or something. It's not that big, but it's for me that's pretty good, and I don't think I hashtag a goddamn thing on that thing. I just put it on there. But if when I hashtag things, it's almost like, what's the point? It doesn't matter. Algorithms aren't going to pick it up. I guess you look it up from hashtags, but does not do with the algorithms and how well your video does.
The algorithms always change too, so you don't really ever know what they're picking up on. You just hope that we've reached out to a lot of small playlisters, and we're not going for the 10,000 100,000 playlists. We're going for the 1,000 the 500 playlists.
Right.
If we can get on 3 or 5 dozen playlists of 500 people, then we're going to get regular streams, and that's going to build. And then we can take that momentum to the bigger playlisters and go, hey, people are listening. Look at our algorithm. You want us on your list. We're performing really well. Mm-hmm. And, as an artist trying to build, you got to be really strategic. If you want a long-term success as an artist, you got to look at the business aspect of it and how to navigate best, or you're just going to be throwing shit into the wind and hoping people listen, and people don't listen anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that sound. Is that the baby?
That's not me.
Hold on one second. Hold on. No, it's not you. It's gone. Gone.
It's me?
Yeah, you got some noise going on back there.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
There, it went away. There goes. It's gone now. All right, it's gone. It's gone. So I want to ask you let's just say, I muted her. No, Don, you muted yourself. Oh, Dusty muted herself. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this, Ken. No name artist, someone doesn't know, reaches out to you and says, "Hey, can you master this or produce this for me?" Send you the files. What do you have, like an average price, or does it vary?
I have a set price. I don't say my indie prices publicly because they're much lower than my major prices, and the majors would never pay my major price.
Kanye West, to hear that, he's charging you more. He's charging you more than he would charge me.
Kanye can afford it. He never questions my invoices, but it happens. But yeah, actually, I love working with independent artists. Primarily, I mix for independent artists. And on occasion, I will produce for independent artists. But again, there's got to be a path towards, is this going to be worth my time? And I'm kind of in that stage of my career where, I need to survive as a human being, so I need income, and you can't just take on all the pet projects that you want. I mean, there's so much incredible music out there, but if you have an artist with an incredible song, but they have no star power, so to speak, just, charisma is a much better word. Right. If they have no ability to sell themselves, nothing you do for them is going to mean anything in the end, because they won't be able to get it out in the right way. So it's not just about the music. It's about the whole, who is this artist? What do they have throwing down? And does the music connect with me personally? And do I think I can really do a great job with it? Right. All of those things as a producer and a co-writer and a development thing, those come up. As a mixer, I can mix anything under the sun. And from Wu-Tang Clan to BTS to Kanye I've mixed them all.
Sevenfold.
Yeah.
All of it. Last question: Do you not get residuals from? You do. So if someone does really good, you get payments regardless. You get some sort of.
It depends on the gig, because I do a lot of different things for different people. So when I'm producing and writing, then I'll get residuals for that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes as a performer, there's something called neighboring rights. And whenever I play or sing on a big record like Uptown Funk or We Are Young or Girl on Fire or something like that, then I'll get neighboring rights from those. And it's basically, if it's a big radio single, or if it is a theatrical trailer or used in a big film or something, or on a TV commercial, we get neighboring rights for those. If I I write on those, you do really well. So.
Listen, if anyone's out there and wants to reach out to Ken Lewis, his website's really easy. It's kenlewis.com. I believe it's his website. And you can see all the different awards he won. You can see all the different artists he's worked with. Very fantastic. So good to have you on the show. It's been 30 minutes talking with you.
Thank you,
is there anything else you want to say before we get off here?
I mean, the last thing from a work perspective is I'm mixing in surround now. So I do stereo mixing, but ATMOS and Reality 360 are coming in the surround space. And this time next year, it's going to be the complete buzzword. So if you're an artist that needs to get your music into surround, I am totally the guy. Hit me.
And also check out Obscene Steelers. Such good music, man. You're just an incredible guy. I love you. You have a very unique story, and it's fun having people like you on the show. So thank you very much. Go check out kenlewis.com and check out Obscene Steelers. Is on every platform. That's all the time we got, Ken. Please stay right there till after the outro song plays. I do want to thank all of our listeners. Check us out on every podcasting platform, YouTube. We're everywhere. That's all the time we got. All I want to say is peace out, rock on,
and much love.
There we go.
This is the Loud Spot outro by nothing short of tragic. Is this all talk with no action? No. Is this my thoughts with distraction? No. Is this what I bought that's in fashion? Or is this the Loud Spot with Sebastian? Yes. Does nothing short of tragic have us back again? Yes. Does everything that's good really have to end? Yes. A pimp host has to pimp show, so to get more episodes, make an order, this is over.